Alright, hey guys, King of Charmanders here. So, we have Galvantula! And if you love the little Spooter, it has been a very powerful mon for Go Battle League since it got buffed. Actually, even before it got buffed, Galvantula was just a monster because at one point they buffed Volt Switch. When they buffed Volt Switch, Discharge was a beast. And then it got this really powerful move called Lunge. With Lunge, you are able to reduce your opponent's attack, and it creates a lot of plays for you. In fact, it's so beastly that it's basically one of the most powerful switches in Ultra League, actually Ultra Premier for at XL at level 50. And let me guess what? It's actually really good as a switch for the Holiday Cup. Now, Galvantula, as you see here, Galvantula has maxed out at near 2494. So again, if you want to use that from Ultra Premier, it's very powerful. However, for the Holiday Cup is just as good. You want to know why? Because it has a great stats card. Yes, it's a glass cannon. However, with its ability to hit you with that lunge, it is able to create a lot of plays. And you're able to hit really hard because of its ridiculously high attack. So it is a glass cannon, and you must watch out for two types. Thanks to its typing of bug, you actually resist ground. So because of that, ground does neutral damage to you, which means it's only weak to two typings, fire and rock. Meaning only Alola Marowak or Agrav really threaten it, and it actually resists, like, Agrav's Volt Switches, so it's actually really interesting how it plays out in the meta. Now, you do resist, like I mentioned, you do resist Volt Switches, so you do resist Electric, you also resist Fighting, so those pseudo-counter users actually, you resist Counter. You also resist Grass and Steel. With this combination, Galvantula is basically one of the few things can actually wall Wild Charge users, and you can do a lot of damage with its, like I said, its debuffs. You even have the option of using things like Cross Poison and Bug Buzz, but in all reality, just use Volt Switch once. Volt Switch Lunge makes Galvantula one of the most powerful safe switches in the Holiday Cup. Alright, so Galvantula actually ranks overall at, here's PSBook.com rankings, we got Spooter ranks at number 22. Now, if you look over here, it's really strong in the lead and switch, and even the closer. It actually ranks higher on average on the closer than a lot of other picks I've seen, but it, as you see, is extremely powerful. The ability to basically debuff your opponent, even if you don't win the lead, it gives you a lot of play, especially if you can bait a shield. So, because Galvantula has such high attack, even though it is technically squishy, it is going to threaten your opponent and kind of make them think like, okay, do I shield or do I not shield? Or it can set up plays for you later on. So Galvantula, as you see, and it's very powerful even as a lead. Yes, it's a great safe switch, but in the lead, it ranks at number 20. So in the lead, it's able to take out both of the pseudo fighters in Vigoroth in Obstagoon. You're also able to take out Dugong and Skarmory. And you can even take out Abomasnow. So as you see, it has a lot of play against a lot of meta picks and against specific like archetypes. For example, like I said, pseudo fighters. Now your key losses are against Altaria, Alola Marowak, Graveler, Stunfisk, and Wigglytuff. So unfortunately, Spooter is susceptible to Charmers, which kind of sucks. Because it's so squishy, the double 2 shield strat really works well against Spooter, especially Wigglytuff, so you're either going to Q, move, or switch out. However, that doesn't mean it's not bad. Like I mentioned, because Spooter has so much attack, it can still deal heavy damage to your opponent. Of course, you don't want it to get lit on fire, and you want to be careful of Alola and Graveler just because of Rock types. Rock hurts. You do resist Volt Switch, like I mentioned, however, Rock types hurt. Now, in the closer, Galvantula is still good. Number 38, which is still really good. As you see here, you're able to take out a variety of typings. You're still able to take out Obstagoon because Dark is weak to Bug. You're also able to take out Skarmory. And, of course, the Water types because you're an Electric type. And Charizard. Now, as far as key losses go, Vigoroth, you do lose against Viggy just because Viggy's body slams do hurt in the closer. Of course, you're going to lose against Alola Marowak, and it's dangerous to fight Altaria. And Graveler and Stunfisk. Basically, anything that resists electric types and is very tanky, or it's going to kill bugs or light you on fire because you are a spider, and unfortunately Spooter does die to fire. Now, switch is where Galvantula shines. As you see here, it's the number 3 save switch in the game. As you see with Energy Lead, it's able to do a lot of things for you. Able to take out things like Vigoroth, Skarmory, Obstagoon, Dugong, and Abomasnow. Now, you are gonna... Even though you do lose against Alolan Marowak pretty hard, as you see here. Alolan Marowak and Altaria. These aren't bad. Like, these aren't... They're kind of... It's hard. It's bad ratings, but, like, it's not like you can't come... The thing is, you're going to come out of these matchups, as you see with Alolan Marowak and Altaria, we'll measure that in the Matrix. You're going to come out with energy. Or you're going to come out with the ability to farm your opponent down. So there's a lot of plays you can make with Galvantula. Plus, with the Lunge threat, you're able to debuff your opponent and make them guess on the baits. So there are ways you can take back switch if you're able to be a little fancy. So we'll analyze that in Matrix. But again, Galvantula very powerful as a switch. Number 3 save switch, only losing to Viggy, which you beat, as well as Frostless. Frostless, you're able to give Frostless a hard time. I don't know if you actually convincingly beat Frostless, we'll see in the Matrix, but you can definitely give Frostless users a hard time because of your discharge. Alright, so here we have Galvantula. If you would like to donate to Poké.com, please do so. Great website, great open resource, and the developer, Matt, is a great dude. Please consider donating. So here I have Galvantula with Discharge Lunge. I also have Discharge Energy Ball and Energy Ball and a Lunge. You know, just for science, I'll put the Fury Cutter variation here just to give, like, variations. It's always good to see everything. I do definitely recommend you just use Volt Switch, Discharge, and Lunge. It's the best moveset, and you'll see it flips a lot of things others don't, even with Fury Cutter. Fury Cutter is bad just because if you do get an AWAC, you really don't have an answer because Ghost and Fire do resist Bug. I have the 2 shield right here, and we're gonna hit battle. As you see here, you're able to beat Abomasnow with both the Volt Switch and Fury Cutter variants, just because Grass is weak to Bug, as you see here. Now, without Lunge, you actually lose to Bama. That's why Lunge is so important. As you see here, without the power of Lunge, unfortunately, you're not able to take out Bama. For Dugong, Volt Switch is needed. As you see, this is another reason why you're able to take out the Waters and the Flyers. Without that, you do not have a chance. As you see here, you're able to beat Frostless with the Volt Switch, Energy Ball, and I'm not sure why it's like this. Hold on, let me double check. I'm not sure why you should be able to beat it with... Is it because... Like, what does it do? Okay. Yeah, so you could flip this matchup. All you just do is straight Lunge. I don't know why it doesn't show for the other variations, but you should be able to do it just straight Lunge. So just go straight Lunge, and you'll win this matchup. As you see from this simulation. To beat Frostless, just go straight Lunge. Now, against the Mirror and Galvantula, the one that wins is who wins CMP. So, whoever wins CMP on Galvantula is what's going to take the match. That's why it's like this in the Mirror. It's preferable that you use a crappy Galvantula so that if... Well, for example, I used a really crappy Galvantula in Sylph for Marsh, and it really worked wonders because I won CMP. Because my Galvantula won CMP, I knew if your Galvantula came in, mine wins CMP. So, winning CMP or having a really bad Galvantula for this meta is not a bad idea. I use a bad one all the time. It's like a 96% and it works. You're able to beat Alolan Graveler in the 2 shield. This is what's important. Now, because you have shields, you're able to take out Alolan Graveler, which is one of your hard counters. As you see, you could just go straight Lunge and you'll take it down. You can survive a Rock Blast because you're able to debuff it so much. However, I believe the 2 shield is the only way you have a chance because, yes, so the 2 shield or having shield advantage is the only way you take out Graveler. So be very mindful. In the 2 shield, you can beat Graveler. That's why it's also a good lead. You beat Lantern, you beat Lapras, you beat Magnezone, you beat Mandibuzz, you beat so many things. Now, you lose against AWAC. This is the bad thing. You're going to lose against Alolan Marowak. This is kind of an issue because it can just hit you with Straight Bone Club. As you see here, Straight Bone Club does the job. Because it resists everything you throw at it. It'll come out of it with energy, so if you do see an AWAC, switch out. However, you do beat Alolan Sandslash, you also are able to beat Skarmory. You're gonna lose against Snorlax because this Snorlax is still so thick, so even if you do hit it with like Lunge, it's still gonna do a lot of damage to you. Just because the Lick Body Slam variant is so oppressive and Snorlax has a lot of bulk. You're gonna lose against Stunfisk just because Stunfisk does resist electric types, so be mindful of that. Also, Talonflame, so Talonflame's a tricky matchup, because as you see here, you're gonna just get Fire Spin down. So, here's the thing. So what you could do. Okay, so here you have all this energy. Hit the Lunge. I believe if you hit Lunge, you can make this a lot closer. Yeah. So, if you're able to hit the Lunge, and they do shield the Lunge, so if they shield Lunge, okay, here. Hit the Lunge, and they shield it. Talonflame can win, but look how close the matchup is. So you can hit them with a double Lunge before you go down. And then they hit you with Flame Charge, so Flame Charge on this turn. As you see, you're gonna, if you shield it here. So you shield, they shield you. This is really complicated. I don't know why this sim does this, but it's okay. As you see here, it's not as close as it is. So you're gonna come out of this, however, you have to make sure you take out Talonflame because it's gonna get a little, like, in 2 more Fire Spins, it's gonna get energy. So you can do, like, the one, as you see here, like, you see how the one shield is? You can literally get 2 moves off. So you can get 2 moves off. As you see here, you can take both of their shields before they take you down. So this is a very tricky matchup. So if they want to take you down, as you see here, just because you have Volt Switch, it's a very rough matchup. And this is why, yes, Talonflame wins, but you can farm this down and you have shield advantage. So Talonflame is a tricky scenario. You are able to beat Vigoroth. I think it's because you could just... And Obstagoon in the lead. I think it's because you can go just straight Lunge. And then you should be able to take it out. Yes, so you just go straight Lunge and you take it out. Now you do lose against the Charmers in the 2 shield. Just because, unfortunately, Golv is squishy. What squishy means? As a Glass Cannon, you're gonna get hit really hard by a lot of things. So if you watch it, here's what happens. You don't even get to your second shield. It'll shield 1. Well, here's the thing. You can let it take you out, and then you can send whatever in the back is and hit Whimsicott. For example, if you are running like a Golv and then you have AWAC, you can do something like that. But as you see here, it's kind of dangerous, so I wouldn't recommend it. You're going to die before you get the second one off. So yes, you'll force a shield, and you'll have shield advantage, but like they'll have energy to throw out at the next matchup. So just be careful of Charmers. Alright, so we did the 2 shield. Here's the 1 shield. As you see in the 1 shield... In the 1 shield, so Fury, yeah, this is, just don't use Fury Cutter, okay? So in the 1 shield, you're still going to lose against Altari and Diggersby. Unfortunately, they're just too powerful. Try to avoid those 2 at all costs. However, as you see here, you're still vibing. Well, you're volting, to be exact. So in the 2 shield, you're going to lose against Galvantula and Lantern convincingly, so be careful about that. However, you're able to take out Abomasnow, Drifblim, Frostless, Galvantula, of course. Well, whoever wins CMP, again, in the mirror, whoever wins CMP is the one that wins that matchup. And you're able to beat Mandibuzz. You're also able to beat Obstagoon, Alolan Sandslash, Skarmory. You're gonna lose against Snorlax, against Stunfisk, and Talonflame, because I mentioned before. Now, Talonflame can go straight... The thing about the Talonflame matchup is this is a weird one. Because, as you see here, it's literally just going to Fire Spin you to death. But you're going to have... If you look how much energy you have left, or how much you have... Yeah, so you should be able to fire... Can you fire? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, you get energy, fire, 4, 5. And then you should be able to take... Oh, it's because of the turns. That's why. So, if you have energy lead, you might be able to take this. But as you see here, just because of Fire Spin damage, you can't... There's nothing you can really do. Because you're going to shield here. He's going to shield. Or better yet, what you can do is, like, I would wait and then double up. Actually, you can't double up because of the energy. So you should be able to, so as you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 energy. 1, 2, 3, you'll die before you get your second Volt Switch. That's the issue here. So against Talonflame, you're going to grab both of your shields, but you're going to go into the closer. You should be able to farm it a little bit, but just be careful. Be mindful it's going to have a little HP left. So you can do that. So Talonflame, it's not completely hopeless. You will have play. It's a close matchup. You will beat Vigoroth, you also beat Obstagoon, so you're going to beat both the pseudo counter users, and unfortunately, even in the 1 shield, you will lose to Charmers. As you see here, Charmers will just charm you down. And that's just a big... That's, like, Charmers are just so good. And the same thing with Whimsicott, just, like, Whimsicott has a stronger matchup because you are an electric type, so it resists your Volt Switch. In the closer, this is where Galvantula doesn't do bad in the closer. However, I wouldn't recommend trying to go to closer unless you have energy advantage or shields. As you see here, you do really bad against a lot of it. The Fury Cutter version will beat Abomasnow. As you see here, you beat Dugong, you lose against a variety of things. You beat Dugong, Drifblim, Lapras, Obstagoon, Skarmory, but you can lose against Vigoroth in the closer because Body Slam hurts. You'll also beat Talonflame because you can Volt Switch it to death, or you'll zap it to death with Discharge. As you see here, Energy Ball can flip the Stunfisk matchup, but Stunfisk isn't so popular to where, like, it's really, like, Energy Ball will do some work. As you see here, you'll beat Alolan Graveler just because it's weak to Energy Ball. So there is merit to running Energy Ball, however, just without Discharge, it's just a lot. As you see here, Energy Ball will flip the matchup, does flip some matchup into closers. However, I would still personally think Lunge is the better move, because if you're in this position where you have to have Energy Ball to take out like a Alolan Marowak or Lantern, you're already in a bad position. As you see here, the Water Gun Lapras is able to take you out, while the Ice Shard one, the Water Gun Lapras, not Lapras, Lantern's able to take you out, but you can beat Lapras. With the Energy Ball one, you could beat Lantern, so that's just the thing. Energy Ball does have some merit in the closer. However, Lunge is just generally a better move overall. As you see against Snorlax, you are able to, it still beats you. Snorlax and Stunfisk are just super oppressive against Golv, so I wouldn't try to take them down unless you have Energy Ball, as you see here. Now, I'm not sure why this variation beats Snorlax. Is it because you Lunge and then Energy Ball? Yeah, so in order to beat Snorlax in a closer, you just straight Lunge. So you can beat Snorlax in a closer, just straight Lunge. So that's Golv in the closer. As you see, as a switch in the lead, it's very powerful. Definitely recommend you leave in those positions. With shield advantage, Galvantula wipes a lot of the meta. You'll still lose to Charmers, unfortunately, just because they will charm you down. You also lose against Alolan Marowak and Diggersby, just things that resist you. As you see, the 1-0s, you are very powerful. You have shield advantage. However, you have to avoid Marowak and Diggersby because they resist you pretty hard, as well as the Charmers. Other than that, you beat everything else. With 2-0s, Galvin 2-0s, you're still going to lose against the Charmers, as you see here. Even if you have 2-0s, just because they're going to charm you down. In the 2-0s, you beat the majority of meta, like a majority of the meta, except for the Charmers. And it's because these things just charm you down. They can eat the moves you throw at it and just charm you down. You will never live to get a second move off, which sucks. So that's the biggest weakness about Galvantula, is really Charmers. You have to be really careful around Charmers. In the 2-1s, it's still pretty much the same thing. You're going to lose against Diggersby, Alolan Marowak, and then you start picking up a few matchups like Snorlax and Talonflame. This Snorlax matchup is really close, so I believe you can beat Snorlax in this scenario. Actually, you should be able to beat it. Do you just straight discharge? Discharge, Energy Ball. Oh, okay, so it's just the damage. So if you have Energy Lead or Chip damage on Snorlax, you can beat Snorlax. It's left with... The only reason it lives is because you do enough damage with Energy Ball. As you see here, it's just the way things work. It lives with 2 HP. So you should be able to, as you see here, by the time you get the energy to Volt Switch, it does get energy for a Body Slam. And unfortunately, because your energy doesn't register, you will faint and die with energy. So just be careful of that. If you have Chip damage on Snorlax, you take this matchup. But you also lose against the Charmers. Again, be very, very careful against Charmers. Galvantula, as you see, is able to wreck a lot of the meta in the 2-1s, only losing to Diggersby, Charmers, Alolan Marowak, and Talonflame in most scenarios. And Snorlax. But you can, like I said, you can flip Snorlax with damage or with a little bit of chip damage, or if you have energy advantage there. So that's the good thing in the 2-1s. Galvantula is very strong with energy, and you can make a lot of plays out of Lunge. As you see, it dominates a lot of the Holiday Cup meta, except your negative matchups, of course. Of course, every Pokemon is going to have a really negative matchup that they hate. Unless it's G-Fist. G-Fist just runs over everything in a 2-0. Alright, so if I had to give Galvantula a rating, I would give it... 9 out of 10, specifically for the reason that if you are able to play it well, it can work wonders, and it does a lot of work for you. Because Galvantula hits so hard and Lunge is able to debuff. This is kind of a biased rating, however, it's good for the reason. Now, 10 out of 10 would be me being really biased. The reason being is because you are able to essentially take out a majority of the meta, a relevant meta too, especially, you're even able to flip stuff into 2 shields. So you can take out its weaknesses like Alolan Graveler, you can take out things like those. So that's why it's really strong. Galvantula is so good in the 2 shields in the Holiday Cup, especially what's like what I mentioned. Especially if you're able to win lead, you can do there's a lot of plays you can make. A 69, this is the greatest win percentage in all time. 69% in the Holiday Cup. It doesn't get any better than that. No, seriously. With its ability in the 2 shield, as you see, you beat a slew of matchups only losing to fire, ground, things that basically resist you. But as you see, overall, it's still incredibly powerful for this cup. And I would definitely recommend. Now, the big issue with Galvantula, and the reason why I can't give it a perfect rating, is because because of the Charm matchup. You essentially get destroyed by, like, every Charmer. The Charmer matchup is not your best friend. As you see here, if I put Galvantula versus a Wigglytuff, it's going to be a really bad time. Just because Galvantula is squishy, even if you do have shield advantage, as long as this thing has a shield, you still get destroyed. As you see here. Charmers are a hard loss for you. and it's really bad because you just don't have a way out against both Charmers. So, yes, you can switch. If you do get switched into them, like, there are ways you could, like, play out of it. So, for, like, yeah, there's ways you can make advantage. Like, you're going to lose this, for sure. If they throw a Charmer into you, 9 times out of 10, you're probably dead. However, you could still lunge and bait shields. Especially against the Whimsicott matchup, because they will have to shield. So there is a way you could still take them out, lower their attack, and still have shield advantage at the end of it. But as you see here, it's just really, really rough. So just be mindful of the Charmers. Because you don't have an answer against Charmers, you're going to have to really rely on your back row to take out Galvantula. Now what meshes well with Galvantula, as you see here, Galvantula has, the pros are, it's incredibly powerful. With the ability, with Lunge and Volt Switch, it puts heavy shield pressure on your opponent. It is one of the best safe switches. Even if you do get hardwall, because Lunge is able to lock in with that debuff, it can create place for you. So like I mentioned, Galvantula is a very good mod. Being able to deal so much heavy damage, it's viable in all spots, and it is really good. As you see here, if I try to give Galvantula on the Holiday Cup, yes, its bulk and coverage suck. However, its safety and consistency are very, very good ratings. Now we compare it. If we pair it with Vigoroth, this is what you get. With Vigoroth is a very powerful safe switch as well. As you see here, Vigoroth automatically gives you some coverage. Your bulk is going to stay low regardless in the Holiday Cup just because. So you see here, there's your bulk. Now what do we put for a closer? Let's assume that we can close with, what's one of the best closers? Let's give it no, we don't want to put those two together. What is a very powerful closer in this cup? Let's see. What if we put Frostless? Frostless is incredibly powerful in all positions. Galvantula, Vigoroth, Frostless. What do we get? As you see here, very powerful. Your bulk is going to suck, however, like, it's basically... Most things that you pair with bulk in this meta are going to be it's not going to be super thick. Unless you have an entire, like team just full of thick mons, like Altaria, Dugong, and Wigglytuff or something like that, then everything's new. But as you see, very, very powerful. Ton of coverage, and you're very safe. It's a very pressure... You can put a lot of pressure with this team. Now, if I had to pair Galvantula, I definitely would give it... You definitely want a second safe switch like Frostless or something like that. And then you want to close out with something... You need some bulk, so you can do a triple, like... This team works pretty well. It can work really well for you. However, try to keep in mind, for example, Vigoroth loses to Alola Marowak. So what if we put... And it also... This team is very weak to Alola Marowak. Especially Vigoroth. So what if we put... Let's see. If we don't put Frostless... But yeah, that's the thing about Galvantula. Galvantula is very squishy, and it's very interesting in team comps. That's why I'm doing this right now, where it's like basically like, an entire... So let's put Dugong in the back, or Dugong as a switch. So that Dugong, you have 2 debuffers. So how does that work? As you see, pretty good coverage. Your bulk goes up because of Dugong itself. Dugong's super thick, and you have better matchups. So as you see here, against the meta, you have a strong chance against, as I mentioned, you beat Obstagoon and you beat Vigoroth into 2 shields. So like, this isn't super bad. As you see in the 1 shield, you cover all of your, you overcover everything. Alola Marowak is your big issue with this team. I would Alola Marowak is the big issue with this team. But you know what? As long as if you could take out the AWAC, the other 2 can run wild. The keyword's can. Anyways, guys, like this video, please like and subscribe. Galvantula is really good. It does take a little bit of skill though, and a little bit of confidence because it is a glass cannon. But if you play it well, it will get you W's in the Holiday Cup. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.